Brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First, the next councillor for Little Horton, a very happy birthday. He's only 30.
That's my
This campaign has aged him already. But he's thrown himself into this campaign with such heart, such vigour. He's like a man of 25. And I'm sure that it's going to be rewarded, inshallah, with a great victory on the 22nd of May. We did come here to meet. We also came here to eat. Thanks for your invitation for that. I myself am hungry, and I'm sure the brothers are too. So I'll be brief. I had to take time out from electioneering today to visit the mosques that were attacked on Saturday afternoon by a formation called Britain First, which is a breakaway from the BNP, a vicious right-wing fascist breakaway whose sole purpose is to provoke and fight Muslims in Britain. If you look at their website, their Twitter feed, if you look at their activities in other places, then you can see very clearly what they are about. For those of you who don't know, up to 10 mosques on Saturday afternoon in Bradford were attacked by 2 carfuls of 10 people, 9 men, 1 woman, who've put their own pictures on the internet inside the mosques that they attacked and desecrated, and have caused fear and alarm and trepidation across the whole community, actually. Elders who would normally go to the mosque in the afternoon are now afraid to do so. Doors that were normally left open from late in the night until very early in the morning are now locked. Women who were used to putting their children into the madrasa while they attended to their daily tasks are now afraid to do so. These people acted with semi-military precision. Their operation was brilliantly planned. No other group like them has ever done such a thing before. This is the first time in the history of this country that 10 mosques have been successfully invaded without opposition, and the mosque desecrated. People walking around inside the mosque with their shoes on, handing out Bibles in the mosque, and handing out leaflets accusing Pakistanis and Muslims in general of paedophilia and grooming and all the other hobby horses that they have. The fact that the vast majority of such crimes are not committed by Muslims but by others, the fact that the vast majority of such crimes are not committed by Pakistanis but by others. Jimmy Savile was not a Pakistani, he was not a Muslim. All these big cases that are in front of the High Court now are not cases involving Pakistanis and Muslims. Of course, such vice exists in all communities, and we are absolutely committed to rooting it out. But these leaflets were a deliberate provocation being tossed around in mosques, attacking Muslims, attacking Pakistani Muslims in particular. They acted with precision, almost as if they knew exactly what they were doing. They chose a time when there would be few people in the masjids to repel them, to force them out, and the public relations operation that they mounted immediately afterwards, showing their pictures and their videos from inside these mosques, was a very real provocation to us. And worse, they've promised to come back again. And when we met the chief, the commander, Atkin of the police today, we made this point clear to him. The police, and the Home Office for that matter, who've been utterly silent since Saturday afternoon until now, have to protect the people and have to protect the religious property of the people. And if they don't, the people will have to protect themselves, excuse me, and protect the property themselves. And how will that look? How will that look to the public? It will say that we have no confidence in the police. How will it look for the police that they are unable to protect tens of thousands of Muslims here in Bradford? We don't want that, because it doesn't look good for us either. But we will not be bullied. We will not allow the mosques to be invaded and Islam to be insulted and the people of Bradford to be insulted. So we made it clear to the police, and we just have now to Theresa May, the Home Secretary, in a letter which we will release later this evening, made it clear that this is completely unacceptable. And the silence of the mass media has been unbelievable. Can you imagine, God forbid, if 2 carfuls of Muslims had invaded churches, handing Qurans around the churches, desecrating the holy places in the churches? Can you imagine? It would be the #1 item on the television news. Well, this hasn't even been on the television news. Hasn't been in a paper. Whilst if the book had been on the other foot, it would have been the front page lead of the Sun and the Daily Mail and the likes, day after day. We'd be in danger of being invaded and occupied by the British and the Americans if such a thing had happened. God forbid that it ever would, and no real Muslim would ever dream of doing such a thing. So the silence, the shame and the silence of the government and the media in this speaks volumes. When they discovered that Subway was selling halal chicken in its sandwiches, it became a national issue. Whilst here are mosques, 10 of them perhaps, being invaded and desecrated without a cheep of publicity. We have no intention of making this issue bigger than it is. We don't want the boys out on the streets burning tyres. It's the 25th anniversary of the Rushdie matter, coming up very soon. We don't need that. We don't want that. But neither will we collaborate in making it smaller than it is, because that would merely be to invite more such attacks and worse attacks. Imagine if they had come when the mosque was full. The trouble that would have ensued. It might have ended up with burning tyres. Now they knew the time they chose, which is interesting in itself. They obviously studied the timetables of the Salah to choose their time carefully. So we will not make it bigger, but we will not make it smaller, because nothing like this has ever happened before. And the fact that it's happened here, where we're so strong, is a real provocation to us. They're saying, we can strike you where you're strong, and we will strike you again, and who knows what their tactics will be next time. What are we waiting for? Are we going to wake up one morning and discover they've been in the mosques and committed some heinous acts in the mosques and filmed them and photographed them? It's as serious as that. So everyone has to be very vigilant. These people have promised on their website and on their Twitter to come back, and we have to be vigilant and ready. You've got the strength to help, but not every mosque. I mean, I was speaking to some old men in the Abu Bakr mosque there who were terrified by the whole thing, really terrified, and are now in the mosque scared. They saw us, white people in cars, coming today, and they were scared. That's how bad this is. So we have to be vigilant, we have to be ready, but above all, we have to be demanding that the political class takes this very seriously indeed. There has been total silence from City Hall. The MP, the Labour MP for Bradford South, is on holiday and doesn't even appear to know that it happened. I don't know why he's on holiday, because Parliament's sitting, but he's on holiday. David Ward has been silent, as far as I can see. If I'm doing him an injustice, I apologise for that. But the council leaders have said nothing and done nothing at all. And that is a reason for our existence. That is a reason for the fact that we're all here and that we're all fighting this election campaign, because our civic leadership is so poor, so weak, so vacillating that, frankly, we need to change them. They're not good enough to be our leaders. We deserve better leaders than them, and we intend to provide it. So, that brings me back to my final point. Today is the 20th anniversary of the death of the late John Smith. 20th, imagine. The last Labour leader. The last man that deserved to be called a Labour leader. In that 20 years, Labour has gone from the defender of the people to, I don't know how you would define it, but it's certainly anything but Labour. And I'm the only person commemorating the 20th anniversary of John Smith's death. Labour hasn't said a single word about it. It tells you all you need to know about the Labour Party today. So, we'll eat quick, if we may, after your speeches, because we have other election work to do. I'm going to tour all the wards where our candidates are out with their workers and do my bit. And then I'm going to Scotland in the morning, and the next day I'll be back here. So I'll be back here campaigning on Wednesday and on Saturday and part of Sunday, and then into the final week. So it's a big push. We've still got lots of work to do, even in a ward like this, where I'm convinced that we're winning. There's still work to do right up to 10 o'clock on polling day itself. There's still always one more voter that you could have got to the polls. And remember, this ward was won by how many votes last time? 17. 17. One of the narrowest. Yeah, 17. One of the narrowest in the city. And of course, the head that we chopped that day was the leader of the council himself. And now we're going for the former Lord Mayor. We specialise in such operations. So, the best of luck to all of you. Ron is here. My assistant Salma, I brought her up from London to strengthen the team today and tomorrow and over the next few days. So, if you need anything, badger them. If they're bad-tempered, never mind. They'll get over it. They can't work miracles. And people do have to pay, by the way. Leaflets are not free. People are demanding posters, leaflets and so on. Not you, of course. But not many others have yet paid their way. And they have to. But badger them by all means. That's what they're here for. Sorry, Ron, to invite more badgering. But it is important that we fight this right up to the wire. And if we do, we'll have a famous victory again here in Bradford. Wassalamu alaikum.